Welcome to the Bedtime Lab, dear friend. Tonight, I'm inviting you on a journey through the stars, where we'll unravel the mysterious world of constellations and the myths that have been woven around them for centuries. As we embark on this celestial adventure, I invite you to get comfy, perhaps with a soft blanket or your favorite pillow, as we drift gently into a world that twinkles above us each night. And if you feel like sharing, let me know where you're tuning in from. It's always delightful to imagine this cozy community spread across the globe, all gazing up at the same sky. So, let's begin our stroll among the stars. Did you know that the word constellation comes from the Latin word constellatio, which means set of stars? Humans have been identifying these star groups for thousands of years, using them as navigational aids and storytelling canvases. Imagine ancient travelers looking up at these same stars, finding their way across oceans and deserts. Speaking of history, there's a fascinating tale behind the constellation Ursa Major, also known as the Great Bear. It contains the famous Big Dipper, which you might recognize. This constellation has been significant in various cultures. For instance, in Greek mythology, it's linked to the story of Callisto, a beautiful nymph who was transformed into a bear by the goddess Hera. Can you imagine being turned into a constellation, forever visible in the night sky? And here's a little secret about Orion, one of the most recognizable constellations with its iconic belt of 3 bright stars. In ancient Egypt, Orion was associated with Osiris, the god of the afterlife. The Egyptians believed that the stars in Orion's belt aligned perfectly with the pyramids of Giza, serving as a celestial guide for the souls of pharaohs. Isn't it incredible how the night sky has been seen as a pathway to the divine? Speaking of pathways, did you know that the North Star, Polaris, has been a guiding light for centuries? It's located in the constellation Ursa Minor and is almost directly above the North Pole, remaining nearly stationary in the sky while the other stars dance around it. Mariners relied heavily on Polaris to navigate the seas long before modern technology. Imagine setting sail under a blanket of stars, with nothing but the night sky to guide you. Now, let's turn our gaze to the Southern Hemisphere. The Southern Cross, or Crux, is one of the most famous constellations you can see there. It's smaller than its northern counterparts, but holds great significance. For the Aboriginal Australians, it represents an eagle's footprint and is deeply embedded in their rich storytelling tradition. Think of how these stars have inspired countless stories, each unique to the cultures that gaze upon them. Another captivating constellation is Scorpius, which traces its roots back to an ancient Greek myth involving Orion. According to legend, Orion boasted about his hunting prowess, claiming he could defeat any creature on Earth. In retaliation, the Earth sent a scorpion to challenge him. In the night sky, you can see that Scorpius and Orion are positioned in such a way that they never appear together, as if eternally caught in their cosmic chase. Isn't it intriguing how myths have crafted such vivid imagery in the sky? And while we're on the topic of celestial stories, have you heard of the constellation Pegasus? Named after the winged horse in Greek mythology, Pegasus is seen soaring across the autumn sky. The myth tells of Pegasus being born from the blood of Medusa, carrying heroes like Perseus through his adventures. Picture a winged horse gliding among the stars, a beacon of inspiration for dreamers and storytellers alike. The constellation of Leo, the lion, is another captivating figure. In Greek mythology, Leo represents the Nemean lion, a beast with an impervious hide that Hercules had to defeat as part of his 12 labors. In the sky, Leo stands out as one of the brighter patterns, its regal figure echoing tales of courage and triumph. Have you ever wondered why constellations sometimes share similar names across different cultures? It's because these star patterns were often named independently by civilizations that had no contact with each other, yet they saw the same images in the sky. It's a beautiful reminder of our shared humanity, isn't it? And here's a charming thought. Each year, as the Earth makes its journey around the Sun, different constellations come into view, marking the changing seasons. This way, the night sky tells its own story of time passing. Ancient farmers used these celestial patterns to plant and harvest crops, relying on the stars to bring predictability and order to their lives. Isn't it fascinating how these constellations, mere collections of stars, have inspired such a wealth of stories and practical uses across different cultures and eras? As we drift further into this starry night, let these stories of the stars inspire dreams as infinite as the universe itself. Imagine, if you will, the constellation of Cassiopeia, a striking W-shaped cluster that graces the northern sky. In mythology, Cassiopeia was a boastful queen who claimed her beauty surpassed that of the sea nymphs. This did not please the sea god Poseidon, who sent a sea monster to ravage her kingdom. To appease him, she was placed among the stars, forever sitting on her heavenly throne. Isn't it intriguing how her story warns against the perils of vanity, echoing timeless lessons that resonate even today? Let me share something interesting about the constellation Draco. This dragon-shaped constellation wraps itself around the North Star, its long tail weaving through the celestial sphere. According to Greek mythology, Draco represents Ladon, the dragon that guarded the golden apples in the garden of the Hesperides. Hercules, tasked with retrieving these apples as one of his labors, managed to slay the dragon, and Zeus placed it in the sky. Can you imagine a dragon encircling the earth, its presence eternalized above us? Speaking of mythical creatures, did you know that the constellation Cetus is named after a sea monster? In Greek myths, Cetus was the beast sent to devour Andromeda, the daughter of Cassiopeia. Perseus, riding the winged horse Pegasus, saved Andromeda by turning the monster to stone with Medusa's head. This dramatic tale of heroism and love is forever etched in the stars. Picture the vast ocean of the sky, where even sea monsters roam. Here's a fascinating fact. The constellation Gemini, featuring the famous twins Castor and Pollux, has long stood as a symbol of deep brotherly bond. In mythology, Castor was mortal and Pollux was immortal. When Castor was killed, Pollux was inconsolable and asked Zeus to let him share his immortality with his brother. Zeus placed them both in the sky, ensuring they would never be apart. Isn't it heartwarming to think of such enduring loyalty shining brightly in the heavens? And here's something you might find surprising. The constellation Libra was once part of Scorpius. The Romans separated it, naming it after the scales of justice, as it symbolized balance and fairness. Interestingly, Libra is one of the few constellations that doesn't represent a living creature or a character from mythology, but rather an abstract concept. Can you feel the balance of justice, gently swaying in the skies? Have you heard of the constellation Lyra? It is associated with Orpheus, the legendary musician who could charm all living things with his lyre. After his tragic death, it is said that Zeus placed his lyre in the sky as a tribute. Lyra's brightest star, Vega, is one of the most luminous in the night sky, often serving as a beacon for stargazers. Imagine the celestial music that echoes through the universe, a symphony written in starlight. Here's something captivating about the constellation Andromeda. Not only is it home to the Andromeda Galaxy, our nearest spiral galaxy neighbor, but in mythology, Andromeda was a princess tied to a rock as a sacrifice to Cetus. Her rescue by Perseus is a tale of courage and fate. Isn't it remarkable how a single constellation can hold both a story and a galaxy within its embrace? The constellation Capricornus, often depicted as a sea-goat, is another intriguing blend of myth and reality. In Greek lore, it represents the goat Amalthea, who nursed Zeus as an infant. In gratitude, Zeus placed her in the heavens. The sea-goat's form reflects Capricorn's association with the fertile rains of winter. Can you see the goat leaping across the sky, bringing life-giving water to the earth below? Let's delve into the story of Orion and his loyal canine companion. Did you know that the constellation Canis Major, representing Orion's great dog, contains Sirius, the brightest star in our sky? Often called the dog star, Sirius was believed to contribute to the sweltering heat of midsummer, hence the term dog days. Imagine Orion and his faithful hound forever hunting across the night. In the constellation Aquarius, we find echoes of ancient water-bearers. In Greek mythology, Aquarius represents Ganymede, a handsome youth chosen by Zeus to be the cupbearer of the gods. This constellation is associated with water, and its appearance in the sky often heralded the rainy season. Picture Ganymede pouring celestial waters, quenching the sky's thirst. And here's a charming thought. Pisces, the fish, tell a story of transformation and survival. According to myth, the fish represent Aphrodite and Eros, who transformed into fish to escape the monster Typhon. They are often depicted swimming together, a testament to their eternal bond. Imagine the gentle dance of the fish, a symbol of love and resilience in the vast ocean of stars. Lastly, the constellation Taurus, the bull, embodies strength and virility. In mythology, Taurus is linked to the tale of Zeus transforming into a bull to woo Europa. This majestic creature charges through the sky, its presence steadfast and enduring. Can you picture the powerful bull, its horns reaching out to the cosmos, a guardian of the celestial pastures? As you tuck these stories into your thoughts, let the night continue to unfold its mysteries. Each star a chapter in the grand tale written across the sky. Whether it's the mythical beasts, brave heroes, or the gentle melodies of a lyre, these constellations invite us to dream beyond the horizon, where the cosmos whispers secrets of old. Have you ever wondered why some constellations seem so familiar, while others remain mysterious and elusive? Take, for example, the constellation Auriga, which represents a charioteer. In mythology, it is often associated with Erichthonius, an early king of Athens who was said to have invented the chariot. Zeus, impressed by this innovation, placed him among the stars. Imagine the celestial chariots racing across the sky, a testament to human ingenuity and divine favor. Speaking of divine placements, did you know that the constellation Ophiuchus, often called the Serpent Bearer, is sometimes considered the 13th zodiac sign? In mythology, Ophiuchus is linked to Asclepius, the healer who learned the secrets of immortality from a serpent. Zeus, fearing the implications of such knowledge, placed him in the sky to honor his wisdom while maintaining the natural order. Can you picture the healer, wrapped in the embrace of a cosmic serpent, a guardian of life's mysteries? Here's a curious piece of celestial lore. The constellation Triangulum, one of the smallest constellations, was associated with the island of Sicily by the Greeks. Its three-star pattern mirrored the triangular shape of the island itself, serving as a symbolic tribute to the land. Isn't it fascinating how even the simplest shapes in the sky can carry such rich geographical and cultural significance? Turning to the southern hemisphere, the constellation Crux, also known as the Southern Cross, is a vital navigation aid for travelers below the equator. While it doesn't have a direct mythological story, its role as a guiding beacon echoes the ancient theme of the stars as navigators and timekeepers. Imagine the reliance on these stars by explorers and sailors, their journeys guided by the dependable points of light. Did you ever think about the stories behind the less-known constellations? Take the constellation Monoceros, representing a unicorn. This mythical creature, while not rooted in Greek mythology, was added to star maps in the 17th century. Its presence in the sky suggests the enduring allure of mystery and magic, a reminder that not all celestial stories come from ancient tales but continue to evolve. Consider the constellation Corvus, the crow, which is linked to Apollo's messenger in myth. The story goes that the crow was sent to fetch water, but was distracted by a fig tree and delayed his return. In anger, Apollo threw the crow into the sky, where it remains as a reminder of its procrastination. Isn't it amusing how even the stars can tell tales of distraction and consequence? Now let's ponder the myth surrounding the constellation Phoenix. This constellation represents the legendary bird that rises from its own ashes, a symbol of renewal and immortality. Though not a part of Greco-Roman mythology, the phoenix's story is a universal symbol found in various cultures, showing the shared human fascination with rebirth and transformation. Can you visualize the graceful bird soaring high, forever reborn among the stars? Have you noticed how constellations often reflect aspects of daily life? Take the constellation Pavo, which means peacock in Latin. It was named by Dutch explorers in the late 16th century, after the exotic bird they encountered on their voyages. This blend of natural observation and celestial mapping highlights how exploration and new discoveries have continually shaped our understanding of the night sky. Another interesting constellation is Sculptor, named in the 18th century by the French astronomer Lecaille. Unlike most constellations that have roots in mythology, Sculptor's name reflects the human arts, a nod to the creative spirit that is also found among the stars. Imagine the night sky as a grand gallery where artistic achievements are celebrated alongside legendary tales. Speaking of art and beauty, let's explore the constellation Chameleon. Named for the color-changing lizard, this constellation doesn't have a direct mythological connection, but symbolizes adaptation and transformation, qualities that are as ancient as mythology itself. Can you imagine the chameleon shifting its hues against the backdrop of the night sky, a master of cosmic camouflage? And have you heard of the constellation Lepus, the hare? Situated beneath Orion, Lepus is said to represent a hare being pursued by Orion's hunting dogs. This whimsical chase across the heavens is a playful reminder of the eternal dance between predator and prey. Picture the nimble hare darting across the stars, ever eluding capture. Another celestial curiosity is the constellation Vela, one of the ship constellations that form part of the ancient Greek myth of the Argo Navis. Although the original constellation was split into several parts, Vela remains as the sails of the great ship Argo. This tribute to Jason and the Argonauts' quest for the Golden Fleece serves as a reminder of epic adventures and daring exploits. And here's a thought-provoking fact. The constellation Hydra, the water snake, is the largest constellation in the sky. In mythology, It is associated with the multi-headed serpent killed by Hercules as one of his labors. Its sprawling form across the sky mimics the creature's many heads, suggesting that even the sky's largest spaces are filled with stories of legend and heroism. As these tales drift into your thoughts, let them weave a tapestry of wonder and intrigue, where every constellation holds a secret waiting to be discovered. The night sky, a timeless storyteller, invites you to ponder the connections between myth and reality, where imagination takes flight alongside the stars. In the serene expanse of the night sky, the constellation Lyra, symbolized by the harp, holds a story deeply entwined with music and tragedy. Associated with Orpheus, the legendary musician whose melodies could charm even stones, Lyra was placed among the stars after his death, ensuring that his music would echo across the cosmos for eternity. Isn't it poetic how the constellations can immortalize the arts, allowing music to dance among the stars? Speaking of celestial harmonies, the constellation Delphinus is depicted as a dolphin, a tribute to the Greek god Apollo, who sent it to rescue a musician lost at sea. In gratitude, Apollo set the dolphin in the sky, a celestial guide for mariners. It's fascinating how even mythological creatures find their place in the heavens, symbolizing divine intervention and guidance. Moving to the heart of storytelling, the constellation Cassiopeia represents a queen in Greek mythology who boasted of her unrivaled beauty. Her vanity led to a series of events that angered the gods, resulting in her being placed in the sky. Yet, she remains upside down for half of the year as a reminder of the consequences of hubris. Can you imagine a queen eternally caught in her own reflection among the stars? Here's a captivating story. The constellation Canes Venatici, known as the hunting dogs, was added to the sky by the astronomer Johannes Hevelius in the 17th century. It represents the loyal dogs of Boötes, the herdsman, chasing the great bear. This imaginative addition highlights how humans have long sought to connect their earthly companions with the celestial realm, weaving tales of loyalty and companionship among the stars. Consider the constellation Auriga, often depicted as a charioteer. In one interpretation, Auriga represents Erichthonius, an Athenian king credited with inventing the four-horse chariot. Zeus honored him with a place in the sky for his ingenuity. Isn't it intriguing how innovation and myth intertwine, with the stars serving as a testament to human creativity and progress? Let's delve into the story behind the constellation Draco, the dragon. According to legend, Draco guarded the golden apples in the garden of the Hesperides. When Hercules defeated this formidable creature, Hera placed it among the stars. Its winding form weaves through the northern sky, a constant reminder of vigilance and the eternal watchfulness of a dragon. Can you picture this ancient guardian coiling its way across the heavens? The constellation Sagittarius, depicted as a centaur wielding a bow, is linked to the wise centaur Chiron. Unlike other centaurs, Chiron was known for his wisdom and knowledge of healing. When he was wounded and could not heal himself, Zeus placed him in the sky. Isn't it a profound thought that wisdom and healing are celebrated in such a grand celestial display? Another engaging story awaits with the constellation Andromeda, named after a princess who was chained to a rock as a sacrifice to a sea monster. Her tale of rescue by Perseus is immortalized in the stars, a dramatic saga of love and bravery. This celestial narrative reminds us of the enduring power of myths, where heroes and heroines are forever enshrined in the night sky. Take a moment to consider the constellation Pegasus, the winged horse born from the blood of Medusa. It symbolizes poetic inspiration and the soaring of imagination. When Bellerophon attempted to ride Pegasus to Mount Olympus, Zeus placed the horse in the heavens, a testament to the limits of mortal ambition. Can you envision this majestic creature, wings spread, forever galloping among the stars? In a tale of disguise and transformation, the constellation Capricornus depicts a sea-goat, half goat and half fish. It is linked to the god Pan, who transformed himself into this creature to escape the monster Typhon. Isn't it intriguing how mythological figures find inventive ways to adapt and survive, with their stories etched into the night sky? The celestial realm also echoes tales of family and loyalty, as seen in the constellation Gemini, representing the twins Castor and Pollux. In mythology, they are known for their deep brotherly bond. When Castor died, Pollux begged Zeus to let them be together, resulting in their joint placement among the stars. Such stories of devotion and unity reflect the human desire for connection and togetherness, even in the heavens. Reflecting on the theme of transformation, the constellation Serpens is unique as it is split into two parts: Serpens caput, the serpent's head, and Serpens cauda, the tail. It is associated with the healer Asclepius, who is often depicted holding the serpent. This division in the sky is a reminder of the interconnectedness and continuity of life and knowledge, symbolizing the eternal cycle of healing. In a journey across the stars, the constellation Perseus is famed for its association with the hero who slayed Medusa. Armed with gifts from the gods, his triumph over the Gorgon is marked by his placement amongst the stars, serving as a beacon of courage and divine favor. Can you imagine Perseus, forever victorious, his constellation a shining testimony to bravery? Lastly, let me share the story of the constellation Cygnus, the swan. Known for its graceful appearance, it is associated with multiple myths, including the tale of Zeus disguising himself as a swan. Its elegant form gracing the sky reminds us of the beauty and fluidity of myth, where stories and shapes flow seamlessly into the tapestry of the night. As these celestial stories intertwine in your mind, let their gentle presence guide you through the night, where the stars continue to speak in whispers of myth and legend. Let me share something truly fascinating. The constellation Lyra, often depicted as a harp, is associated with Orpheus, the legendary musician whose music could charm all living things, and even stones. According to myth, after Orpheus's untimely death, his lyre was placed in the heavens by Zeus. Isn't it enchanting to think of celestial music echoing through the night sky, capturing the harmony of the universe? Speaking of legends, have you ever heard about the constellation Lepus, the hare, which sits just beneath Orion? Though often overshadowed by its mighty neighbor, Lepus is linked to a lesser-known tale involving Orion himself. Some stories suggest that Orion hunted Lepus across the sky, a reminder of the eternal cycle between predator and prey. It's intriguing how even the smaller constellations have tales worth exploring, often tying into the grander narratives of the night. And here's something marvelous. The constellation Corona Borealis, known as the Northern Crown, is associated with Ariadne, the daughter of King Minos. It is said that Dionysus, the god of wine, placed her crown among the stars as a token of his love. Imagine the heavens adorned with a crown, a symbol of divine affection and beauty that twinkles ever so gently above us. Consider the constellation Delphinus, the dolphin which tells the delightful story of Arion, a poet and musician. According to legend, when threatened by sailors, Arion was saved by a dolphin charmed by his music. This friendly sea creature then transported him safely to shore. Isn't it heartwarming to think of such a loyal bond between human and animal, mirrored in the starry patterns above? Another captivating truth lies within the constellation Cetus, the sea monster. While its appearance might seem fearsome, it's part of the myth of Andromeda and Perseus, representing the beast that Andromeda was sacrificed to. This tale of heroism and rescue is a reminder of the power of courage and the dramatic narratives etched into our cosmos. Moving to another tale, the constellation Corona Australis, or the Southern Crown, is often overlooked but carries its own story of glory. In one interpretation, it represents the laurel wreath worn by the Greek god Apollo. A symbol of victory and achievement, this constellation reminds us of the accolades that follow triumph and excellence, shimmering quietly in the southern skies. Let's ponder the constellation Hydra, the water snake, which is the largest of all the constellations. It stretches across the celestial sphere, symbolizing the many-headed beast slain by Hercules in one of his famous labors. The myth of Hydra serves as a testament to the challenges that heroes must overcome, with each head of the serpent representing a new trial. In the heart of the sky, the constellation Aquila, the eagle, is linked to Zeus as his messenger. This powerful bird is said to have carried thunderbolts for Zeus, a role that highlights the interconnectedness of animals and gods in mythology. Isn't it fascinating how such a majestic bird is forever poised mid-flight among the stars? Have you ever wondered about the constellation Crater, the cup? It tells a tale of indulgence and consequence linked to Apollo. According to Greek myth, the god sent a crow to fetch water, but the bird delayed and invented an excuse about a snake blocking its path. This story is also immortalized in the nearby constellation Corvus, the crow reminding us of the perils of deceit. Here's a charming tidbit. The constellation Vulpecula, the little fox, is a relatively modern addition to the sky, introduced by the Polish astronomer Johannes Hevelius in the 17th century. Although it lacks the ancient mythological roots of other constellations, it sparks the imagination with its playful and cunning nature, a reminder of the ever-evolving tapestry of human storytelling. Another story that might surprise you involves the constellation Musca, the fly. Located in the southern sky, it was named by Dutch navigators who charted the southern hemisphere in the 16th century. While it might seem insignificant at first glance, Musca's presence in the sky highlights the contributions of explorers who expanded our celestial maps, bringing new stories into the universal fold. And speaking of exploration, the constellation Pavo, the peacock, is another southern constellation commemorating the exotic beauty of the peacock. The peacock's celestial presence is a nod to the diversity and wonder of the natural world, reflected in the constellations that grace our skies. Finally, let's reflect on the constellation Monoceros, the unicorn. Introduced in the 17th century, it carries the magic and mystery of mythical creatures into the heavens. The unicorn's inclusion in the celestial map is a testament to the enduring allure of fantasy, capturing the imagination across time and space. As you let these stories and facts weave their way through your thoughts, imagine the rich tapestry of culture and mythology that surrounds us, each constellation a chapter in the endless story of the cosmos. With every glance at the night sky, we are reminded of the universal tales that bind us together, inching closer to the secrets whispered by the stars. Let's continue this celestial journey with the constellation Lyra, the lyre. This small yet bright constellation is associated with Orpheus, the legendary musician whose music was said to charm all living things, even stones. Lyra represents the lyre given to Orpheus by Apollo. It is a reminder of the enchanting power of music, eternally serenading the heavens with its silent song. Have you ever paused to consider how music, much like the stars, has the power to touch the soul, transcending the boundaries of time and space? Now, here's something intriguing about the constellation Draco, the dragon. It coils around the north celestial pole, and its myth is as twisted as its shape. In Greek mythology, Draco represents Ladon, the dragon who guarded the golden apples in the garden of the Hesperides. Hercules, in his quest for these precious apples, ultimately defeated Ladon. Imagine a guardian dragon watching over a cosmic orchard, its tail wrapped around the pole stars. Turning our gaze to the constellation Pegasus, it is said to spring forth from the blood of Medusa after Perseus beheaded her. This winged horse has long been a symbol of inspiration and poetic genius, soaring through the skies. It's fascinating to think of Pegasus galloping across the stars, carrying the dreams and aspirations of poets and artists throughout history. Have you ever felt inspired by the night sky, as if guided by the wings of Pegasus itself? Let's delve into the story of the constellation Eridanus, the river. It is often associated with the myth of Phaeton, the son of Helios, who drove the sun chariot recklessly, causing chaos in the heavens. Eridanus marks the river into which Phaeton fell, a cautionary tale about hubris and the consequences of reaching beyond one's limits. This celestial river weaves a path through the sky, reminding us of the delicate balance between ambition and caution. Speaking of celestial waters, the constellation Pisces, the fish, tells the tale of Aphrodite and her son Eros. According to mythology, they transformed into fish to escape the monster Typhon, tying themselves together with a cord to avoid losing each other in the sea. This bond is symbolized by the pair of fish forever swimming in the skies, a tender reminder of the enduring bonds of love and family. Isn't it beautiful how stories of connection and unity are etched into the stars? Now, consider the constellation Capricornus, the sea goat. This curious creature is linked to the god Pan, who transformed himself into a fish-goat hybrid to escape Typhon. It is a symbol of duality, representing both the land and sea. Reflect on the adaptability of this mythical being, bridging two worlds with grace. In many ways, Capricornus reminds us of the multifaceted nature of existence, where transformation and resilience are key. Here's a delightful fact about the constellation Ursa Minor, home to the Little Dipper. According to legend, this group of stars represents Arcus, the son of Callisto, who was transformed into a bear and placed in the sky by Zeus. The Little Dipper is known for containing Polaris, the North Star, a steadfast guide for travelers. Arcus's eternal role as a celestial wayfinder echoes with the theme of guidance and protection, a beacon in the night for those seeking their way. Let us not forget about the constellation Canis Minor, the lesser dog. It is often considered the faithful companion of Orion, the hunter. Despite its small size, Canis Minor shines brightly with the star Procyon. This constellation serves as a reminder that even the smallest of companions can have a significant impact, illuminating our path with their loyalty and presence. Another intriguing tale comes from the constellation Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer. This often overlooked constellation represents Asclepius, the healer, who learned the secrets of life and death by observing a snake. Ophiuchus is sometimes associated with the 13th sign of the zodiac, though it is not officially recognized in the astrological chart. Imagine a healer standing among the stars, symbolizing the eternal quest for knowledge and the mysteries of life itself. Let me share something about the constellation Perseus, named after the hero who defeated Medusa. This constellation is not only a testament to Perseus's bravery, but also a reflection of the intertwined destinies present in the sky. Close to Perseus, you find Andromeda, Cassiopeia, and Cepheus, all part of the same myth. The night sky is like a tapestry, with each star and constellation weaving together a grand narrative of heroism, sacrifice, and redemption. Consider the constellation Taurus, the bull, which embodies strength and stubbornness. In mythology, Taurus is associated with Zeus transforming into a bull to carry away Europa, a tale of transformation and desire. This powerful image has captivated imaginations for centuries, the bull's form dominating the night sky with its robust presence. Can you picture the majestic bull, its legacy stretching across human history in the cosmic canvas? Let's also ponder the constellation Virgo, often depicted as a maiden holding a sheaf of wheat. She is associated with Persephone, whose story of descent into the underworld and return to the earth represents the cycle of seasons. Virgo's presence in the sky symbolizes fertility, harvest, and the nurturing aspects of life. It's as if she watches over the earth, ensuring the rhythm of growth and rejuvenation continues unabated. And now, the constellation Canis Major, the greater dog, which loyally accompanies Orion. It is home to Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky, often referred to as the dog star. This sparkling beacon has been a source of fascination and navigation for ancient mariners. Canis Major reminds us of the loyal companionship and guidance that can be found even in the vast expanses of the universe. Finally, the constellation Lepus, though small, holds its own charm. This constellation represents a hare, often depicted in the lore as being pursued by Orion's dogs. Lepus is a reminder that even the seemingly inconspicuous figures in the sky have stories and roles in the cosmic play. It's a gentle nudge to appreciate the quieter aspects of life that might otherwise go unnoticed. As you close your eyes and drift into dreams, let these stars and their stories accompany you, illuminating the night with their timeless brilliance. Let me share something intriguing about the constellation Gemini, the twins. They represent Castor and Pollux, the Dioscuri known for their inseparable bond. According to myth, Castor was mortal while Pollux was immortal, leading to a touching story of sacrifice and devotion. When Castor was killed, Pollux begged Zeus to let him share his immortality with his brother, resulting in their eternal place among the stars. Doesn't this tale capture the essence of friendship and the lengths we go for those we love? A curious fact about the constellation Hydra, the sea serpent, is its immense size. It is the largest constellation in the sky, winding its way across more than 130 degrees of the celestial sphere. In mythology, Hydra was defeated by Hercules as one of his 12 labors, a creature with multiple heads that would regrow if severed. Imagine the determination required to face such a formidable adversary, and yet, through cunning and perseverance, Hercules prevailed. This tale of triumph over seemingly insurmountable odds reminds us of the power of resilience. Speaking of determination, let's consider the constellation Sagittarius, often depicted as a centaur wielding a bow and arrow. This constellation is associated with Chiron, a wise and benevolent centaur who was a mentor to many heroes. Unlike other centaurs who were wild and unruly, Chiron was known for his wisdom and kindness, serving as a healer and teacher. Have you ever thought about how this half-man, half-horse figure represents the quest for knowledge and the harmonious blend of instinct and intellect? An interesting connection exists between the constellation Aquarius, the water bearer, and Ganymede, a beautiful youth from mythology. Zeus, enamored with Ganymede, brought him to Olympus, where he became the cupbearer to the gods. In the sky, Aquarius is depicted pouring out water, symbolizing the life-giving rains that nourish the earth. Isn't it fascinating how the stars capture both the ethereal beauty of myth and the practical necessity of water for life on our planet? Now, let us turn our gaze to the constellation Scorpius, the Scorpion. This constellation is linked to the story of Orion, the great hunter. It's said that Orion boasted he could hunt all the animals on Earth, which angered Gaia, the Earth goddess. In response, she sent Scorpius to defeat him. The two were placed on opposite sides of the sky, forever chasing each other, but never meeting. Can you imagine the dramatic celestial dance they perform? A tale of humility and the balance of nature immortalized in the heavens. The constellation Lyra, home to the bright star Vega, has a story intertwined with music and romance. It represents the lyre of Orpheus, a legendary musician whose melodies were said to charm all living things. When Orpheus played, even the rocks and trees would listen. After his tragic death, Zeus placed his lyre in the sky, ensuring that the beauty of his music would never be forgotten. Isn't it remarkable how the stars can become a canvas for stories that celebrate creativity and the power of art to transcend time? Let's also contemplate the constellation Draco, the dragon, which coils around the northern sky. In mythology, Draco is associated with the dragon Ladon, who guarded the golden apples in the garden of the Hesperides. Hercules, in his quest, managed to slay the dragon, and to honor its vigilance, the gods placed Draco among the stars. Draco's enduring watchfulness serves as a celestial sentinel, a reminder of the guardianship that protects treasures and preserves the wonders of the world. Consider the constellation Corona Borealis, the northern crown, a delicate arc of stars. This constellation is tied to the story of Ariadne, who helped Theseus defeat the Minotaur and find his way out of the labyrinth. As a token of gratitude, he gave her a crown, which was later placed in the sky by Dionysus, whom she married. Doesn't this celestial crown symbolize love, clarity, and the triumph of guidance over confusion? Think about the constellation Bootes, the herdsman often depicted holding a staff. He is sometimes identified as Arcus, the son of Zeus and Callisto, yet another mythical figure placed among the stars. Bootes is associated with the invention of the plough, which revolutionized agriculture. This connection to the earth and the nurturing of life reflects the enduring relationship between humanity and the land. It's a reminder of the cycles of sowing and reaping, labor and reward that sustain us all. Finally, let's not overlook the constellation Pegasus, the winged horse, a symbol of poetic inspiration and soaring imagination. Born from the blood of Medusa when Perseus beheaded her, Pegasus ascended to the heavens. This ethereal creature became a symbol of the Muses, inspiring creativity and artistic expression. In the night sky, Pegasus flies among the stars, encouraging us to embrace our dreams and the boundless possibilities of imagination. As you drift into a restful slumber, let the stories of these constellations and their mythical origins inspire your dreams, weaving a tapestry of wonder across the cosmos. Let me share something interesting about the constellation Cepheus, which is named after a mythical king of Ethiopia. Cepheus was the father of Andromeda, whose story of sacrifice and rescue is intertwined with those of Perseus and Pegasus. But did you know that this constellation is home to a fascinating type of star known as a Cepheid variable? These stars pulsate in brightness over regular periods, providing astronomers with a reliable way to measure cosmic distances. Imagine how these pulsing beacons help us map the vast universe, much like a lighthouse guiding ships to safety. Speaking of cosmic guides, have you ever heard about the constellation Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer? It is often overlooked, but it has a rich mythology. Ophiuchus represents Asclepius, the god of medicine, who was said to have the power to bring the dead back to life. Zeus placed him among the stars to honor his healing abilities while ensuring the balance of life and death remained undisturbed. Isn't it intriguing that this constellation, with its serpentine companion, continues to symbolize the dual nature of healing, both miraculous and bound by natural laws? Here's a fascinating fact about the constellation Crux. Although it's not visible in the northern hemisphere, it holds great significance in the southern skies. Crux is small yet easily recognizable, and it has served as a navigational tool for explorers and travelers. In many cultures, it is associated with guidance and protection. Can you imagine how these stars have inspired confidence and a sense of direction for countless seafarers and adventurers throughout history? Continuing our celestial journey, let's consider the constellation Canis Major, home to the brightest star in the night sky, Sirius. In Greek mythology, Canis Major represents one of Orion's hunting dogs. Sirius, often referred to as the dog star, is not only luminous but also part of a binary star system. The presence of its faint companion, a white dwarf, adds a layer of mystery to this already remarkable star. Isn't it amazing to think about the hidden complexities that exist even in the most familiar parts of the sky? The constellation Pavo, the peacock, brings a splash of color to the heavens. Named for the extravagant bird, Pavo is not linked to any specific myth, but is instead a testament to the beauty and diversity of the natural world. In many cultures, peacocks symbolize renewal and immortality. As you gaze at this constellation, imagine the vibrant iridescent feathers unfurling across the night sky, a reminder of life's splendor and the endless cycle of renewal. Another constellation with a rich story is Aries, the ram. Aries is associated with the golden fleece, a symbol of authority and kingship sought by Jason and the Argonauts. The fleece was guarded by a dragon, and acquiring it was a perilous task. The stars of Aries twinkle softly as a tribute to courage and adventure. Can you picture the excitement and challenges faced by those ancient heroes, driven by the promise of glory and the allure of impossible quests? Have you ever wondered about the constellation Libra, the scales? It is unique as one of the few constellations representing an inanimate object. Libra is often associated with Astraea, the goddess of justice, and symbolizes balance, fairness, and equilibrium. In Roman times, Libra was linked to the time of harvest, a period of weighing and measuring. Isn't it thought-provoking how the stars can reflect our earthly ideals, like justice and harmony, through their orderly arrangements? The constellation Phoenix captures the imagination with its mythical namesake, the phoenix, a bird that rises anew from its ashes. This constellation, visible in the southern hemisphere, symbolizes resurrection and the cyclical nature of life. Imagine the hope and inspiration drawn from this fiery bird, a testament to endurance and the eternal nature of the soul. It's a story that resonates with the idea of transformation and renewal, much like the cycles of the cosmos. Let's not forget the constellation Aries, the ram, once regarded as a critical point in the zodiac. Aries marks the vernal equinox, a time of rebirth and new beginnings. It heralds the arrival of spring, when the earth awakens from its winter slumber. In this way, Aries serves as a cosmic reminder of nature's cycles and the ever-present chance for renewal. Isn't it wonderful how a simple arrangement of stars can mirror the rhythms of life and the promise of fresh starts? Have you noticed the constellation Virgo, the maiden, and its connection to Demeter, the goddess of harvest and fertility? Virgo's brightest star, Spica, is often associated with a sheaf of wheat, symbolizing abundance and sustenance. As one of the largest constellations, Virgo dominates the sky during spring and summer, a fitting companion to the seasons of growth and prosperity. Can you see the echoes of ancient agricultural traditions in the stars, reminding us of the Earth's bounty and the nurturing power of the divine feminine? The constellation Canes Venatici, the hunting dogs, might not be as well known, but they add charm to the night sky. Representing two dogs held on a leash by Boots, the herdsman, Canes Venatici is a symbol of loyalty and companionship. Despite their modest size, these stars remind us of the deep bonds between humans and their canine companions, a friendship that stretches back through the ages. Isn't it heartwarming to think that even in the heavens, there is a place for our faithful friends? Now, let's marvel at the constellation Cygnus, the swan, which gracefully glides along the Milky Way. Cygnus is linked to several myths, including that of Orpheus, whose music could tame even the fiercest of beasts. Upon his death, it was said he was transformed into a swan and placed in the sky to honor his artistic spirit. Can you feel the elegance and grace of this celestial bird, a reminder of the soothing power of creativity and the poetic nature of the universe? The constellation Eridanus, the river, winds its way through the southern sky, flowing like an endless stream. In mythology, it represents the river in which Phaeton, the son of the sun god Helios, fell after attempting to drive his father's chariot. Eridanus serves as a celestial cautionary tale about hubris and the consequences of overreaching. Isn't it captivating how this meandering path of stars mirrors the winding journey of life, with all its twists and turns, triumphs and trials? As you ponder these celestial stories, let them gently guide you into slumber, weaving dreams filled with wonder and the timeless magic of the stars. Let me share something interesting with you about the constellation Draco, the dragon. This celestial serpent coils its way around the north celestial pole, and its winding form is steeped in mythological tales. In Greek mythology, Draco is often associated with Ladon, the dragon who guarded the golden apples of the Hesperides. These apples were fiercely protected, and Ladon was a formidable guardian with 100 heads to keep watch. Can you imagine the spectacle of such a creature woven into the fabric of the night sky, forever on guard? Speaking of guardians, the constellation Aquila, the eagle, also holds a place of prominence in the heavens. This constellation represents the eagle of Zeus, tasked with carrying the thunderbolts of the king of the gods. Aquila's brightest star, Altair, forms part of the summer triangle, a beacon guiding travelers and stargazers alike. Isn't it fascinating how the stars can serve both as storytellers and navigational aids, leading us through the vastness of space? Another constellation rich in story is Hercules, the strongman of the sky. Did you know that Hercules is the 5th largest constellation in the night sky? It represents the hero Hercules, famed for his incredible strength and his 12 labors. Among these labors was the task of slaying the Nemean lion, a beast with impervious skin. To honor his triumph, Hercules was immortalized among the stars, a testament to human endurance and might. Can you picture the hero's legendary feats, his figure poised eternally above us? And here's something fascinating. the constellation Lepus, the hare, located just beneath Orion. Lepus is often overlooked, yet it plays an intriguing role in mythology. In some stories, the constellation is associated with the swift-footed hare pursued by Orion the hunter. Its presence reminds us of the perpetual chase, the interplay of predator and prey that echoes through the natural world. Isn't it thought-provoking to see how such stories are woven into the stars, whispering ancient lessons of survival and resilience? Have you ever wondered about the constellation Cassiopeia, the Queen? This is a constellation that has captivated the imaginations of many with its distinctive W shape. Cassiopeia, seated on her celestial throne, was said to be a boastful queen in mythology, claiming her beauty rivaled that of the sea nymphs. Her vanity led to her being placed among the stars, forever circling the celestial pole. It's a story that serves as a reminder of hubris and the fleeting nature of beauty. Do you find it intriguing how these celestial tales offer insights into human nature, reflecting our virtues and follies alike? Now, let us turn our gaze to Pisces, the fish, a constellation with a gentle flowing elegance, associated with Aphrodite and Eros, who transformed into fish to escape danger. Pisces symbolizes adaptability and fluidity. Its stars form a delicate network, reminiscent of the ocean's currents and the interconnectedness of life. Imagine the stars as shimmering scales beneath the moonlight, a celestial school of fish swimming through the vast ocean of the night sky. Nearby is the constellation Ophiuchus, the serpent-bearer, which holds a unique position in the zodiac. Unlike the other 12 zodiac constellations, Ophiuchus is not typically included in astrological traditions, yet it represents healing and medicine, symbolized by the figure of Asclepius, the ancient god of healing. His wisdom and skill in medicine are said to be so profound that he could even bring the dead back to life. Isn't it amazing how this constellation embodies the timeless human pursuit of knowledge and the mysteries of life and death? In the southern sky, the constellation Centaurus stands out with its mythological connections. Centaurus is home to Alpha Centauri, the closest star system to our own. The constellation represents Chiron, the wise and altruistic centaur who tutored many Greek heroes. Chiron's story is one of selflessness and sacrifice, a celestial reminder of the noble qualities that lie within us all. When you look at Centaurus, can you feel the enduring legacy of wisdom and guidance shining from its stars? The constellation Sagittarius brings to mind the image of the archer, yet its stories are as diverse as the stars themselves. Often depicted as a centaur drawing a bow, Sagittarius is linked to the quest for truth and adventure. Its position along the Milky Way adds a layer of mystique, suggesting a journey into the unknown. Isn't it inspiring to think of Sagittarius as a symbol of exploration, urging us to seek new horizons and embrace the mysteries of the universe? And finally, let's visit the constellation Taurus, the bull, with its prominent star cluster, the Pleiades. In mythology, Taurus is associated with Zeus, who transformed into a bull to carry Europa across the sea. The Pleiades, sometimes called the Seven Sisters, have inspired countless stories and hold a special place in many cultures around the world. Can you see how Taurus, with its steadfast presence, speaks to the power of determination and the cycle of renewal? As you reflect on these stories and constellations, let them carry your imagination across the night sky, inviting dreams filled with wonder and the timeless magic of the cosmos. Have you ever pondered the intriguing tale of the constellation Cygnus, the swan? It is said that Zeus, enamored by the mortal Leda, transformed into a swan to win her affection. The constellation's graceful form gliding across the sky serves as a reminder of love's transformative power. Cygnus also hosts the Northern Cross, a pattern of stars that echoes the shape of the crucifix, blending mythology with celestial navigation. Isn't it fascinating how these constellations weave together stories of divine love and earthly symbolism? Let me share something interesting about the constellation Draco, the dragon, a celestial guardian coiled around the North Celestial Pole. Draco is steeped in mythology, often associated with the dragon slain by the hero Cadmus. It's a tale that speaks to the eternal struggle between heroism and chaos, where the dragon's twisted form represents both the obstacles and the treasures hidden within life's challenges. Can you imagine the drama of Draco's tale playing out in the night sky, a reminder of bravery and the eternal dance of order and chaos? And here's something you might find surprising. The constellation Crux, or the Southern Cross, is one of the smallest yet most iconic constellations. This cluster of stars has served as a guiding beacon for navigators in the Southern Hemisphere. In various cultures, its distinct shape has been imbued with spiritual significance, symbolizing the intersection of the physical and divine. Isn't it intriguing how Crux, despite its modest size, commands such a profound presence in the sky and in the hearts of those who follow it? Have you ever considered the constellation Pegasus, the winged horse, and its tail? According to legend, Pegasus sprang forth from the blood of the Gorgon Medusa after she was defeated by Perseus. This mythical creature symbolizes inspiration and the boundless heights of imagination, with its stars forming a great square in the sky, known as the Great Square of Pegasus. It's a constellation that encourages us to take flight, to transcend the limitations of the earthly realm. Can you envision the celestial horse soaring through the stars, a testament to creativity and freedom? The constellation Andromeda may surprise you with its tale of sacrifice and redemption. Andromeda was chained to a rock as an offering to a sea monster, only to be rescued by Perseus. Her constellation, positioned beside that of her hero, represents hope and the promise of liberation against all odds. It also hosts the Andromeda Galaxy, our closest galactic neighbor, reminding us of both our cosmic insignificance and potential for exploration. Doesn't it stir the imagination to think of Andromeda with its galactic wonders, inviting us to dream beyond our earthly confines? Now, consider the constellation Aries, the ram, known for its connection to the Golden Fleece. In mythology, Aries is associated with the flying ram that bore Phrixus to safety. The ram's fleece, transformed into gold, became the coveted prize of Jason and the Argonauts. The stars of Aries, though not the brightest, whisper tales of adventure and ambition, urging us to seek out our own golden destinies. Isn't it captivating how these stories of daring and reward are illuminated by the gentle glow of distant stars? You might find it intriguing to learn about the constellation Pavo, the peacock, a lesser-known gem in the southern sky. Pavo is often linked to the mythical bird that bore the 100 eyes of Argus, the all-seeing guardian. The constellation's radiant stars mirror the peacock's iridescent feathers, symbolizing watchfulness and the beauty found in vigilance. Can you picture the peacock's proud display, its stars shimmering like jewels in the night, a celestial guardian keeping a watchful eye over the world? Let's explore the constellation Lyra, a small yet significant pattern of stars. Lyra represents the lyre of Orpheus, whose music was said to move mountains and charm even the fiercest of beasts. The constellation's brightest star, Vega, is one of the most luminous in the sky, adding to its allure. Lyra's presence reminds us of the power of music and art to transcend the ordinary and touch the divine. Isn't it enchanting to think of Lyra's melodies resonating through the cosmos, a testament to the enduring impact of creativity? Consider the constellation Crater, the cup, a celestial symbol of receptivity and abundance. In Greek mythology, Crater is associated with the god Apollo and the crow, who was sent to fetch water with a cup, only to become distracted. The crow's deception led to Crater being placed among the stars. This tale, nestled in the night sky, speaks to the themes of duty and consequence, a gentle reminder of the importance of fulfilling our responsibilities. Can you feel the weight of this celestial cup, a symbol of both bounty and the lessons learned through folly? The constellation Corona Borealis, the Northern Crown, holds a regal charm with its enchanting story. It represents the crown given to Ariadne by Dionysus as a token of love and fidelity. Its semicircular pattern of stars shines with a delicate elegance, symbolizing unity and commitment. Isn't it wonderful to imagine such a celestial crown adorning the heavens, a perpetual celebration of love's enduring promise and unity? Let us not forget the constellation Virgo, often associated with Demeter, the goddess of harvest and fertility. Virgo is one of the largest constellations and marks the changing seasons with its presence. Its brightest star, Spica, is like a beacon heralding the abundance of the earth. Can you envision the nurturing spirit of Virgo, her stars sowing seeds of prosperity and growth across the sky? Finally, the constellation Scorpius, with its sinuous form, is deeply intertwined with the story of Orion. According to myth, Scorpius was sent to defeat the great hunter Orion, a tale of rivalry and balance. The Scorpion stars trace a graceful arc, a reminder of the interplay between light and shadow, conflict and harmony. Isn't it mesmerizing how Scorpius, with its celestial dance, embodies the delicate equilibrium of the universe? As your thoughts drift through these stars and stories, let their timeless narratives cradle your imagination, kindling dreams as vast as the night sky itself. Imagine the constellation Centaurus, a figure of great wisdom and strength in the southern hemisphere. In mythology, Centaurus represents Chiron, the wise and noble centaur known for his knowledge of medicine and healing. Unlike other centaurs, who were often portrayed as wild and unruly, Chiron was gentle and kind. He tutored many heroes, including Achilles and Hercules. Can you envision Chiron looking down from the stars, his wisdom spreading across the night sky, guiding those who seek knowledge and healing? Speaking of noble creatures, have you considered the constellation Leo, the lion? Leo is one of the most easily recognizable constellations, with its bright star Regulus marking the lion's heart. In Greek mythology, Leo is associated with the Nemean lion, a fearsome beast defeated by Hercules as one of his 12 labors. The constellation is a symbol of courage and bravery, its stars forming the majestic outline of a lion that stands proudly in the sky. Isn't it fascinating how Leo's regal presence has inspired tales of valor throughout the ages? Now, let me share something interesting about the constellation Cassiopeia. This W-shaped constellation is named after the vain queen of Ethiopia, who boasted about her beauty. Her hubris led to a series of events involving her daughter Andromeda and the sea monster Cetus. Cassiopeia's stars form a distinctive pattern that resembles a throne, a reminder of her royal status and the cautionary tale of vanity. Can you imagine Cassiopeia, forever seated in the sky, her story a testament to the perils of pride? Transitioning from royalty to mystery, consider the constellation Hydra, the largest of all constellations. Hydra winds its way across the night sky, its sinuous form reminiscent of the multi-headed serpent Hercules faced in his labors. Each time Hercules cut off one of Hydra's heads, two more would grow back, making it a symbol of resilience and regeneration. Hydra's stars stretch across a vast expanse, embodying the seemingly endless challenges one might face. Isn't it intriguing to perceive Hydra's presence as a reminder of the resilience needed to overcome life's obstacles? Another captivating constellation is Cygnus, the swan, gracefully flying through the Milky Way. In mythology, Cygnus is linked to several stories, including that of Zeus, who transformed into a swan to win the love of Leda. The stars of Cygnus form a cross, sometimes referred to as the Northern Cross, a symbol of transformation and the elegance of nature. Can you picture Cygnus gliding across the celestial river, its wings spread wide, a symbol of grace and beauty amid the stars? Have you ever noticed the constellation Draco, the dragon, coiling around the celestial North Pole? Draco is often associated with the dragon Ladon, who guarded the golden apples in the Garden of the Hesperides. In the sky, Draco's stars twist and turn, creating a serpentine figure that captures the imagination. This guardian of treasures serves as a reminder of the mysteries and secrets hidden within the universe. Isn't it captivating to think of Draco as a celestial protector, watching over the treasures of the sky? Turning our gaze to the constellation Hercules, we find a hero among the stars. Hercules, known for his incredible strength and adventures, is immortalized in the night sky. The constellation depicts him kneeling, holding a club, a tribute to his legendary feats. The story of Hercules is one of redemption and triumph over adversity, and his stars inspire courage and determination. Can you feel the power and resilience of Hercules as his legend continues to shine brightly above us? Speaking of celestial heroes, the constellation Perseus tells the tale of a daring quest. Perseus, known for slaying the Gorgon Medusa, is depicted holding her severed head, with the star Algol representing Medusa's eye. Algol is known as the demon star because it appears to wink at us, a result of its binary nature. Isn't it fascinating how Perseus's story of bravery and triumph is etched in the heavens, with Algol adding an element of mystery to his legend? Consider the constellation Ophiuchus, the serpent-bearer, often overlooked but rich in symbolism. Ophiuchus is associated with Asclepius, the Greek god of medicine, who is depicted holding a serpent, a symbol of healing and wisdom. The constellation suggests themes of renewal and transformation, much like the serpent shedding its skin. Isn't it intriguing to think of Ophiuchus as a celestial healer, offering guidance and hope from the stars? Let us not forget the constellation Auriga, the charioteer, with its brilliant star Capella, one of the brightest in the sky. In mythology, Auriga is sometimes associated with Erichthonius, an Athenian king who invented the chariot. The stars of Auriga form a pentagon resembling a charioteer holding the reins, a symbol of innovation and skill. Can you envision Auriga steering his celestial chariot across the night sky, embodying the spirit of ingenuity and mastery? Exploring further, the constellation Gemini, the twins, is a symbol of duality and companionship. Gemini represents the twin brothers Castor and Pollux, known for their deep bond and adventures together. The stars Castor and Pollux, the brightest in the constellation, shine as a testament to their enduring friendship. Isn't it heartwarming to imagine the twins watching over us, their constellation reminding us of the power of connection and unity? As you ponder these constellations and their stories, let your imagination wander among the stars. Each pattern of light in the night sky holds a tale of adventure, wisdom, and wonder, inviting you to explore the cosmic tapestry of mythology and celestial beauty. Let me share something interesting about the constellation Lyra, which holds a fascinating place in both the sky and mythology. Lyra is associated with the legendary musician Orpheus, whose lyre enchanted all who heard it, even the gods themselves. Did you know that the brightest star in Lyra, Vega, was once the North Star around 14,000 years ago? This shifting position is due to the precession of the Earth's axis, a gentle reminder of the ever-changing dance of the cosmos. Imagine Orpheus's lyre, not only mesmerizing us with its celestial music, but also marking the passage of time in the heavens. Speaking of musical instruments, let's consider the constellation harp. Although not officially recognized in modern astronomy, the harp was imagined in the past as a celestial instrument accompanying Lyra. In some stories, it was said to be a second lyre crafted by Hermes, who invented the lyre from a tortoise shell. This lesser-known constellation reminds us that the sky is a canvas of human imagination, with each culture painting its own stories among the stars. Isn't it fascinating to think of the night sky as a vast orchestra, each constellation contributing to a cosmic symphony? Transitioning from music to love, the constellation Centaurus offers a tale of wisdom and mentorship. Unlike the wild centaurs of Greek mythology, Centaurus is associated with Chiron, a wise and gentle teacher to many heroes. Chiron's knowledge of medicine, music, and archery made him a revered figure. The stars of Centaurus, including the brilliant Alpha Centauri, the closest star system to Earth, remind us of the importance of learning and guidance. Can you picture Chiron's gentle spirit watching over us, his constellation a tribute to the power of knowledge and teaching? From centaurs, let's shift to the constellation Lepus, the hare, which sits beneath the mighty Orion. Unlike other constellations with grand heroic tales, Lepus is a humble figure, yet its presence in the sky is no less significant. In some traditions, it is seen as a creature pursued by Orion, a perpetual chase across the sky. This celestial game of tag is a delightful reminder of the playful side of the night sky. Isn't it charming to think of Lepus as a symbol of agility and cunning, darting between the stars under Orion's watchful gaze? Now, let's explore the constellation Delphinus, the dolphin. Did you know that Delphinus is associated with the story of Arion, a musician who was saved by a dolphin? Arion was thrown overboard by pirates, but his music charmed a dolphin, which carried him safely to shore. The stars of Delphinus form a small, diamond-shaped figure, a tribute to this tale of rescue and gratitude. Can you imagine a dolphin leaping joyfully among the stars, its story a testament to the kindness and bonds between creatures? Delphinus leads us to the constellation Pisces, the fish, with its intriguing tale of transformation and unity. In Greek mythology, Pisces is linked to Aphrodite and Eros, who transformed into fish to escape the monster Typhon. This tale of metamorphosis and survival is reflected in the stars, which form two fish connected by a ribbon. Isn't it poetic to think of Pisces as a celestial dance of connection and adaptability, weaving its story through the night? Speaking of transformation, let's ponder the constellation Virgo, symbolizing abundance and harvest. Virgo is linked to Demeter, the goddess of agriculture, and her daughter Persephone, whose story explains the changing seasons. The star Spica, the brightest in Virgo, represents a sheaf of wheat, highlighting themes of growth and renewal. Can you envision Virgo gently nurturing the earth, her presence a reminder of the cycles of life and the gifts of the harvest? From Virgo's nurturing embrace, let's journey to the constellation Aries, the ram heralding new beginnings. Aries is associated with the golden fleece, sought by Jason and the Argonauts. This quest for the fleece symbolizes courage and adventure, with the stars of Aries marking the start of spring in the zodiac. Isn't it inspiring to think of Aries as a beacon of hope and renewal, encouraging us to embark on our own journeys of discovery? Continuing our exploration, consider the constellation Capricornus, the sea goat. Capricornus is linked to the god Pan, who transformed into a creature half goat, half fish to escape Typhon. This unique form symbolizes adaptability and resilience. The stars of Capricornus form a distinctive triangle, reflecting the balance between land and sea, earth and water. Can you imagine Capricornus as a guardian of boundaries, its form a testament to the power of transformation and balance? Finally, let's gaze upon the constellation Aquila, the eagle, soaring through the Milky Way. Aquila is associated with Zeus's eagle, which carried his thunderbolts. The stars of Aquila form a V shape, evoking the majesty of an eagle in flight. Isn't it awe-inspiring to think of Aquila as a symbol of power and freedom, its wings spreading wide across the night sky, a reminder to reach for the heights of our potential? As you drift among these stellar tales, let each constellation's story of adventure, wisdom, and transformation guide you gently into the realm of dreams. The night sky is a tapestry of wonder, whispering ancient secrets and timeless truths to those who listen. Let me share something intriguing about the constellation Pegasus, a symbol of poetic inspiration and freedom. Pegasus is not just a single majestic winged horse, but also a marvel in the night sky, formed by 4 stars creating the Great Square. Did you know that one of these stars, 51 Pegasi, was the first sun-like star discovered to have an exoplanet orbiting it? This discovery opened a new chapter in astronomy, reminding us of the endless possibilities hidden among the stars. Imagine Pegasus galloping across the universe, a harbinger of exploration and discovery, inspiring both ancient poets and modern astronomers alike. From winged horses, let's glide over to the graceful constellation of Cygnus, the swan, which elegantly stretches its wings across the Milky Way. Cygnus is home to one of the brightest X-ray sources in the sky, Cygnus X1, believed to contain a black hole. The notion of a black hole within a swan adds a layer of complexity and intrigue to its mythological beauty. Can you envision the swan gliding serenely on the cosmic waters, while secretly harboring the mysteries of the universe in its depths? Here's a fascinating fact about the constellation Draco, the dragon. Draco is said to represent Ladon, the dragon that guarded the golden apples in the Garden of the Hesperides. But did you know that Draco also wraps around the North Celestial Pole, embodying eternity and vigilance? The ancient Egyptians even associated Draco with Taweret, a protective deity depicted as a pregnant hippopotamus, guardian of mothers and children. Isn't it captivating to think of Draco as a celestial guardian, weaving its myth through diverse cultures? Speaking of celestial guardians, let's explore the constellation Hydra, the water serpent, which is the largest and longest constellation in the sky. Hydra represents the multi-headed serpent slain by Hercules as one of his 12 labors. Interestingly, Hydra also contains the star Alphard, known as the solitary one, due to its isolation in the night sky. This solitary star serves as a poignant reminder of the lone and silent watch of Hydra, stretching infinitely across the heavens. And here's something fascinating about the constellation Scorpius, the scorpion. Scorpius is said to have been placed in the sky by Artemis to chase Orion, whom she accidentally killed. It's intriguing how Scorpius and Orion appear in the sky such that when one rises, the other sets, as if continuing their eternal chase across the cosmos. Don't you find it mesmerizing how their celestial dance tells a story of pursuit and balance, reminding us of the cycles of life and nature? Continuing our celestial journey, let's delve into the constellation Corona Borealis, the Northern Crown. This constellation is associated with Ariadne, who helped Theseus navigate the labyrinth with a thread. In gratitude, Dionysus placed her crown in the sky. The crown's stars form a delicate arc, resembling a celestial diadem, a symbol of love and guidance. Can you picture the night sky adorned with Ariadne's crown, a token of compassion and assistance guiding us through our own labyrinths? Now, consider the constellation Hercules, named after the famed Greek hero known for his strength and adventures. Hercules is depicted kneeling, with one foot on the head of Draco, symbolizing his triumph over the dragon. Interestingly, Hercules contains the Great Globular Cluster, one of the brightest clusters visible with the naked eye. This cluster, a collection of hundreds of thousands of stars, sparkles like a cosmic treasure trove, reflecting Hercules' legendary quests for glory and discovery. Here's another intriguing fact. The constellation Sagittarius, representing the centaur Archer, is believed to be aiming his arrow at the heart of Scorpius. In the direction of Sagittarius lies the center of our galaxy, the Milky Way, where a supermassive black hole resides. Isn't it awe-inspiring to think of Sagittarius as the guardian of the galaxy's heart, his arrow poised not only for protection, but also to unlock the mysteries of the universe? Transitioning to a more nurturing figure, let's ponder the constellation Libra, the scales. Libra is the only inanimate constellation among the zodiac, symbolizing justice and balance. It's fascinating that Libra was once part of Scorpio, with its scales representing the claws of the scorpion. Over time, it became a separate constellation, embodying the equilibrium that governs the stars and the cosmos. Can you imagine Libra as a celestial balance, gently weighing the cosmos and ensuring harmony in the universe? Speaking of harmony, let's gaze upon the constellation Cassiopeia, the vain queen. Her distinct W shape is easily recognizable in the northern sky. Cassiopeia was punished for her vanity by being placed in the sky, destined to circle the north celestial pole forever, sometimes upside down. However, her beauty and resilience shine despite her fate. Isn't it intriguing to think of Cassiopeia as a symbol of both the dangers of hubris and the enduring grace of the stars? And finally, let's admire the constellation Crux, the Southern Cross, which is a vital navigational feature in the Southern Hemisphere. Despite its small size, Crux holds significant cultural importance, serving as a guiding light for travelers and explorers. Its position in the sky has guided countless journeys, embodying hope and direction. Can you feel the guiding hand of Crux, a beacon in the vast southern skies, helping souls find their way across oceans and deserts? As we continue to float among these stellar wonders, let their stories draw you into a gentle embrace, weaving a tapestry of dreams that guide you softly into the night. Each constellation, with its tale of adventure, wisdom, and transformation, invites you to explore the depths of the cosmos and the stories written there for eternity. Let me share with you a captivating story about the constellation Pegasus, the winged horse. In Greek mythology, Pegasus sprang from the blood of Medusa when Perseus beheaded her. This magnificent creature then soared into the heavens, becoming a symbol of poetic inspiration and the boundless possibilities of imagination. Did you know that Pegasus is also home to the Great Square, a prominent asterism that helps astronomers locate other celestial wonders? It's fascinating to think of Pegasus as not only a mythical creature, but also a guide to the mysteries of the sky. Speaking of mythic guides, consider the constellation Andromeda, named after the Ethiopian princess saved by Perseus. Andromeda's story is one of sacrifice and redemption, as she was chained to a rock as an offering to appease the sea monster Cetus. Yet, when we look up at the constellation, we find more than just a tale. We find the Andromeda Galaxy, the closest spiral galaxy to our own Milky Way. This galaxy, visible to the naked eye under dark skies, serves as a bridge to the vast universe beyond, reminding us of the interconnectedness of all things. Now, let's turn our gaze to the constellation Aquarius, the water-bearer. In Greek mythology, Aquarius is associated with Ganymede, a beautiful youth who was carried to Olympus by Zeus to become the cupbearer of the gods. Interestingly, Aquarius is also linked to the great flood myths found in various cultures. Isn't it soothing to imagine Aquarius pouring celestial waters to cleanse and refresh the cosmos, nurturing the stars and planets like a gentle rain? Let's drift over to the constellation Orion, the Hunter. Orion's belt is perhaps the most famous asterism in the night sky, with its 3 bright stars perfectly aligned. Legend has it that Orion was an excellent hunter, boasting that he could kill all the animals on Earth. However, his hubris led to his downfall, as he was ultimately stung by a scorpion. But did you know that this mighty hunter is also associated with Osiris, the Egyptian god of the afterlife, who was resurrected and became a symbol of immortality? Orion's presence in the sky serves as a reminder of the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Speaking of rebirth, let's explore the constellation Phoenix, named after the mythical bird that rises from its ashes. The phoenix symbolizes renewal and the eternal cycle of life. In the night sky, Phoenix is a relatively faint constellation, but its mythological significance is profound. Can you imagine the celestial flames that consume and then give birth to something new, each spark a promise of regeneration? As we continue our voyage, let us pause at the constellation Cetus, the sea monster. In mythology, Cetus was the creature sent to devour Andromeda as punishment for her mother Cassiopeia's vanity. Today, Cetus is a sprawling constellation that contains the star Mira, one of the first variable stars ever discovered. Mira's brightness changes over time, echoing the ever-changing nature of the sea and the stories of transformation that the myth of Cetus inspires. Let me take you to the constellation Virgo, the maiden. Virgo is associated with Demeter, the Greek goddess of the harvest, and her daughter Persephone. The myth of Persephone's abduction to the underworld and her eventual return explains the seasons, with Demeter's joy at her return bringing forth spring and summer. Did you know that Virgo contains the bright star Spica, which has been used for centuries as a marker for the spring equinox? It's enchanting to think of Virgo as a cosmic gardener, tending to the celestial fields and ensuring the cycle of growth and harvest. And now, let's consider the constellation Lyra, the lyre. This small constellation is linked to Orpheus, the legendary musician whose melodies could charm even the stones. When Orpheus died, his lyre was placed among the stars as a tribute to his artistry. Lyra is home to Vega, one of the brightest stars in the night sky and part of the Summer Triangle asterism. Can you picture the celestial music resonating through the cosmos, drawing the stars into a harmonious dance? Let's ponder the constellation Ophiuchus, the serpent-bearer, which straddles the celestial equator. Ophiuchus is associated with Asclepius, the ancient Greek god of medicine, who possessed the power to bring the dead back to life. This constellation is unique as it is sometimes considered the 13th sign of the zodiac. Isn't it intriguing how Ophiuchus simultaneously represents the healing arts and the mysteries of life and death? Finally, let us contemplate the constellation Lepus, the hare. Nestled beneath Orion, Lepus is often overlooked. Yet in mythology, the hare was a symbol of swiftness and cunning. Some legends even speak of Lepus as the prey being pursued by Orion, always just out of reach. This constellation reminds us of the delicate balance between hunter and hunted, a theme that resonates throughout the tapestry of the cosmos. As these stories weave together, they invite you into a realm where myths and stars converge, offering wisdom, wonder, and the gentle promise of dreams awaiting just beyond the horizon. As we meander through the shimmering tapestry of the night, we find ourselves drawn to the constellation Draco, the dragon. Did you know that Draco winds its way around the celestial North Pole like a guardian of the heavens? In Greek mythology, Draco represents Ladon, the 100-headed dragon that guarded the golden apples of the Hesperides. It's captivating to think of this serpentine constellation as a celestial sentinel protecting the treasures of the sky with a steadfast watchfulness. Now, let me share something intriguing about the constellation Cassiopeia, known for its distinctive W shape. Cassiopeia was the queen whose vanity led to Andromeda's peril. Interestingly, her position in the sky shifts with the seasons, sometimes appearing upside down. This transformation serves as a gentle reminder of the consequences of pride and the humbling nature of the cosmos, always turning, always in motion. Our gaze drifts to the constellation Taurus, the bull home to the bright star Aldebaran and the Pleiades star cluster. In mythology, Taurus is associated with Zeus, who transformed into a bull to win the affections of Europa. Isn't it fascinating that Taurus, a symbol of strength and determination, also holds the celestial seven sisters whose beauty has inspired countless legends across cultures? The Pleiades, with their delicate twinkle, seem to whisper stories of family and togetherness. Did you know that the constellation Aries, the ram, is linked to the story of the Golden Fleece? Aries represents the ram whose fleece became a symbol of kingship and adventure, sought after by Jason and the Argonauts. This constellation's stars are relatively faint, yet its mythological significance is profound, calling to mind quests and the pursuit of the extraordinary. Speaking of legendary quests, let's consider the constellation Hercules. In mythology, Hercules is celebrated for his strength and his 12 labors. The constellation itself is home to the Great Globular Cluster, a dense collection of stars. Imagine Hercules, the embodiment of resilience, standing watch over this celestial treasure, his labors mirrored in the stars' enduring light. And here's a fascinating fact about the constellation Gemini, the twins. Gemini is associated with Castor and Pollux, the inseparable brothers whose bond was so strong that they were immortalized in the night sky. Interestingly, the star Pollux is a giant, while Castor is a complex multiple star system. This celestial duo reminds us of the enduring nature of family bonds, shining brightly together through the eons. Have you ever wondered about the constellation Leo, the lion? Leo is linked to the Nemean lion, defeated by Hercules as one of his 12 labors. The bright star Regulus, known as the heart of the lion, is a part of this constellation. Its regal brilliance inspires thoughts of courage and leadership, qualities that echo through both myth and reality. Let's meander to the constellation Sagittarius, the archer, often depicted as a centaur. Sagittarius is associated with Chiron, the wise and just centaur who tutored many heroes. Yet, beyond its mythological roots, this constellation points toward the center of our galaxy, the Milky Way. Can you feel the pull of adventure as Sagittarius aims its arrow towards the heart of the universe, inviting you to contemplate the mysteries hidden in the celestial core? The constellation Cancer, the crab, holds its own quiet mystery. In mythology, Cancer was sent by Hera to distract Hercules during his battle with the Hydra. Though it is faint and often overlooked, Cancer harbors the beehive cluster, a beautiful swarm of stars. It's a lovely thought to imagine the stars as cosmic bees, buzzing with the stories of old, weaving together the fabric of the sky. Consider the constellation Scorpius, the scorpion whose tail seems to curl menacingly across the heavens. Scorpius is tied to Orion's myth as the creature that ultimately brought the hunter to his end. The star Antares, known as the heart of the scorpion, burns fiercely red, a celestial reminder of the passion and intensity that myths evoke. As we draw closer to the end of our celestial journey, let me tell you about Ursa Major, the Great Bear. This constellation is best known for containing the Big Dipper, an asterism used for navigation. In many cultures, Ursa Major is seen as a bear, and its presence in the sky echoes tales of transformation and endurance. The bear, lumbering through the stars, speaks of strength and survival. Turning now to Ursa Minor, the little bear. This constellation holds Polaris, the North Star, a beacon for travelers. In mythology, Ursa Minor is often considered the offspring of Ursa Major. Isn't it comforting to think of these two celestial bears forever wandering the northern sky, guiding the weary with their familiar forms? Lastly, the constellation Canis Major, the great dog, stands as a companion to Orion. Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky, resides here, known as the Dog Star. It's delightful to imagine Canis Major faithfully following Orion across the heavens, a symbol of loyalty and companionship, themes that resonate deeply with the human spirit. The night sky, with its constellations and myths, invites you to ponder the connections between the stars and the stories that illuminate them. Each constellation, a chapter in the grand narrative of the cosmos, whispers secrets of the past while holding the promise of the dreams yet to come. As you drift into slumber, let these celestial guides escort you gently into a realm where the wonders of the universe await, twinkling softly with a promise of endless discovery. Let me share something intriguing about the constellation Capricornus, the sea goat. In myth, Capricornus is linked to the god Pan, who transformed into a half-fish to escape the monster Typhon. This celestial creature symbolizes the blend of earth and water, grounding us while inspiring our dreams. Isn't it curious how this constellation, often associated with the end of the year, reflects transition and adaptation in its very form? Speaking of transformative tales, did you know that the constellation Aquarius, the water-bearer, is often associated with Ganymede, a beautiful youth who became the cupbearer to the gods? This connection to water and nourishment reminds us of renewal and the cyclical nature of life, as Aquarius pours his celestial waters to rejuvenate the earth. Imagine the refreshing streams from his amphora cascading across the starry sky. Here's a fascinating tidbit about the constellation Pisces, which depicts two fish tied together by a cord. This imagery finds its roots in the story of Aphrodite and Eros, who transformed into fish to escape danger. The cord that binds them is a symbol of unity and eternal love, suggesting that connection and togetherness transcend earthly challenges. Can you picture these fish, eternally swimming through the heavens, entwined in companionship? Let's drift to the constellation Virgo, often represented as a maiden holding a sheaf of wheat. Virgo is connected to Demeter, the goddess of harvest, and her daughter Persephone. This constellation signals the arrival of spring and the rebirth of the land. Isn't it remarkable to consider how the stars mark the change of seasons, each twinkle heralding new beginnings and the promise of abundance? Speaking of abundance, did you ever wonder about the constellation Libra, the scales? Libra is the only inanimate object among the zodiac constellations, representing balance and justice. It is often associated with Themis, the goddess of divine order. This celestial balance reminds us of the importance of harmony in the universe, where each star and each story finds its rightful place. Consider the constellation Ophiuchus, known as the Serpent Bearer. Although not traditionally included in the zodiac, Ophiuchus is linked to Asclepius, the healer, who learned the secrets of life and death from a serpent. This connection to healing and renewal underscores the idea of transformation and the power of knowledge to transcend mortal limits. Can you imagine the serpents winding through the stars, weaving tales of healing and wisdom? Have you heard about the constellation Cetus, the sea monster? Cetus is connected to the myth of Andromeda, who was to be sacrificed to appease this creature. The hero Perseus saved her, forever casting Cetus into a role of cautionary tales. It's captivating to think of Cetus swimming through the cosmic sea, a reminder of the ancient fears and the triumphs of bravery. Here's something surprising about the constellation Draco, the dragon. In mythology, Draco is often linked to Ladon, the dragon that guarded the golden apples in the garden of the Hesperides. Draco's winding form coils around the North Celestial Pole, a guardian of ancient secrets. Isn't it entrancing to see this dragon wrapped around the heavens, safeguarding the treasures of the night? Let me tell you about the constellation Delphinus, the dolphin which is associated with the story of Arion, a musician saved by dolphins. Delphinus is a testament to friendship and the mysterious bonds between humans and creatures of the sea. Imagine the playful leap of dolphins, immortalized in the stars, a reminder of joy and unity. Did you know that the constellation Pegasus, the winged horse, was born from the blood of Medusa? In mythology, Pegasus was tamed by Bellerophon, who rode him into battle. This magnificent horse, galloping across the sky, symbolizes freedom and the limitless possibilities of imagination. Can you envision Pegasus, flying through the cosmos, inviting you to dream and explore beyond the horizon? Here's a delightful insight about the constellation Lyra, often associated with the lyre of Orpheus, the legendary musician. It's said that Orpheus's music could charm all living things and even stones. The brightest star in Lyra is Vega, a beacon of beauty and harmony. Picture the music of this celestial lyre resonating through the universe, enchanting all who listen. Consider the constellation Cygnus, the swan, linked to the myth of Zeus, who transformed into a swan to woo Leda. The elegant form of Cygnus glides gracefully through the night sky, embodying grace and transformation. Isn't it lovely to imagine a celestial swan, its wings unfurled in a timeless dance across the stars? Finally, the constellation Auriga, the charioteer, is often associated with Erichthonius, an Athenian king who invented the chariot. Auriga holds the bright star Capella, a beacon of guidance and innovation. This charioteer steering through the heavens encourages us to harness our creativity and forge new paths. As you close your eyes, let these stories and stars lull you into a peaceful slumber, weaving dreams with the threads of myth and stardust. Each constellation, a timeless storyteller, whispers softly of ancient heroes and cosmic wonders. Let's begin with the constellation Hercules, which holds a secret of its own. Did you know that Hercules is not only known for his legendary strength, but also for his 12 labors? In the sky, he stands upside down, a unique perspective that invites us to see things from a different angle. Imagine the mighty Hercules, forever engaged in his celestial tasks, reminding us of perseverance and courage in the face of challenges. And speaking of strength, have you ever wondered about the constellation Leo, the lion? Leo is connected to the Nemean lion, which Hercules famously defeated. The lion's hide was said to be impenetrable, and Hercules wore it as a cloak. Picture Leo prowling through the night sky, a symbol of bravery and leadership, its mane twinkling like a crown of stars. Now, let's explore the constellation Ursa Major, often linked to the myth of Callisto. Callisto was transformed into a bear and placed in the sky by Zeus. Ursa Major contains the famous asterism known as the Big Dipper, which has been a guide for travelers for centuries. Can you see the bear ambling across the starry sky, a guardian of the northern heavens? Here's an intriguing connection. The constellation Gemini, representing the twins Castor and Pollux. Did you know that despite their shared constellation, they had different fates? Castor was mortal, while Pollux was divine. Zeus immortalized them in the sky as a testament to brotherly love and sacrifice. Imagine the twins hand in hand, lighting up the night with their eternal bond. Now, consider the constellation Scorpius, linked to Orion the hunter. According to the myths, Orion was boastful and claimed he could hunt and kill every animal on Earth. In response, Gaia sent a scorpion to stop him, and both were placed in the sky. Reflect on Scorpius, with its stinger poised, a reminder of the balance between pride and humility. Have you heard about the constellation Capricornus, the sea goat? It's associated with the god Pan, who transformed into a sea goat to escape the monster Typhon. This half-goat, half-fish creature symbolizes adaptability and survival. Picture Capricornus making its way through the celestial seas, a story of transformation and resilience. Speaking of adaptation, let's talk about the constellation Orion again. Although it is often linked with hunting, did you know it's also associated with the goddess Artemis? She is said to have placed Orion among the stars, not just as a hunter, but as a companion. Imagine Orion, not just as a warrior, but as a friend to the goddess, his celestial bow drawn in eternal companionship. Here's a delightful insight about the constellation Aries, the ram. In mythology, Aries is connected to the golden fleece, sought by Jason and the Argonauts. The fleece represents authority and kingship. Imagine the golden threads of Aries shimmering in the sky, a testament to quests and the pursuit of glory. Consider the constellation Pisces again. Besides being a symbol of unity, it is said to represent the two fish that helped Aphrodite and Eros escape to safety. It's fascinating how this constellation, while embodying love, also signifies protection and guidance. Can you see the fish swimming side by side, guiding one another through the vast ocean of stars? As we move to the constellation Cancer, the crab it holds a tale of loyalty. Cancer is connected to the crab, sent by Hera to aid the Hydra in its battle against Hercules. Though small, Cancer's presence in the sky reminds us of the impact of steadfastness and the importance of even the smallest allies. The constellation Sagittarius, the archer, invites us to aim high. Associated with the centaur Chiron, Sagittarius embodies wisdom and nobility. Chiron was a teacher to many heroes, and his placement in the stars as an archer symbolizes the pursuit of knowledge and the readiness to defend what is just. Imagine shooting arrows of insight across the night sky, each twinkle a spark of enlightenment. Lastly, let's consider the constellation Andromeda, a symbol of beauty and resilience. Tied to the story of her rescue by Perseus, Andromeda's placement in the sky commemorates liberation and hope. Picture her, chains broken, stars shimmering around her, a beacon of freedom and the possibility of a new dawn. As you drift further into the embrace of sleep, let these celestial stories lull you deeper into dreams. Each constellation holds a piece of history, a fragment of myth, singing softly to those who look up and listen. In the cosmic tapestry, the stars weave tales as old as time, connecting us to the past and lighting the path to tomorrow. Let the whispers of the universe guide you into a peaceful slumber, cradled by the stories of gods, heroes, and the shimmering wonders of the night sky.